I'm Mikko Huttunen from LA Ironmen, and you're watching Tech PB. Hey, my name is Mikko Huttunen and I play for Golden State Ironmen, and I'm gonna walk this San Diego NPPL field with you guys. So I'm gonna go through the basic stuff I'm seeing on this field, and I personally play on a back, so I'm gonna talk about lots of different back bunkers and how you should be going down the snake, how you should be pushing the Dorito side, and so let's start from the center of the field. So obviously the 7-man is much slower than the X-ball. We practice mostly X-ball, but we've been doing really well this year in the 7-man. We're leading the league, and but it's a different game. 7-man is much slower than X-ball, and 7-man is like there's no coaching, so you have to make up your own choices and make sure you have a good timing, and you do all the teamwork has to be perfect. Communication needs to be perfect, and your game plans needs to be perfect to make a good game plan through the game. And so basically you have 7 guys breaking off the back from the dead box. The biggest thing of the break is to make the good bunkers, so the front guys need to find good lanes to run to the front bunkers and make it live, and the back players want to also have a good lane to shoot these front guys. So as a back player, if I'm playing back center, the first thing I want to do when I walk the field is like look, where is the best lane to kill this guy who's running the 50 on the Dorito side. If I'm shooting the Dorito side, same thing in the snake side, because we don't want a guy to run the snake off the break. It's going to hurt us. So I want to make sure if there's a guy, their front guy is running to the snake, I want to make sure I can sweet spot that guy. So like from right here on this back center, there's a real good lane to switch with the snake guy. It's pretty blocked on the left side, so you can't see too much, but that lane is good. So it's gonna be real hard if the guy's running and you stay through that lane. That's the one big thing, that you stay always through to the lane. So you don't necessarily see the guy, but if you say like, this is my job to make sure the guy doesn't run to the snake, you will stay through that lane right there before the snake, and that's where the guy is gonna go through if he's going to the snake. So if you start like messing around and shooting all over the place, you're not gonna get the guy. Dorito side, it's pretty blocked too, but there is a little gaps. Like if you shoot over these big Doritos in the center, there's a little gap, so you can assume like, okay, the guy's gonna run that lane. So you just kind of imagine that that's the running lane, and that's where you wanna put your paint. And that's the back center players, the most important thing. Other thing, really big thing in 7-man is to get in the corners, get wide, and that's another thing like different to X-ball. In X-ball, you usually run the small guys in the corner, you real fast guys, because it's hard to make those corner spots. 7-man, you want to get your back players in the corner. So there are lots of corner players carry most of the paint, they stay there most of the time, and they support the front players. They keep shooting the lanes, controlling the tapes. So let's walk over to this Dorito corner. There's 2 different ways to go in these corners. Lots of people run and gun, so they run with their gun up and they put paint back in the center. The good thing about that way to come in this corner is you can actually see what's going on. You have your eyes up, and you can see like if where's guys running, if no one is sweet spotting this way, so you know what's going on. Other way, it's just like if it's harder to get, most of the people they just run. They just run like as fast as you can. You do the Superman slide and you slid in. Like here, you come to this corner. As a back player, what I want to do, I want to make sure no one comes through the. I control the tape. I control the other corner. I wrap in every time I put the corner in. I wrap in. I put paint on the car wash. I put paint on the back center. And in the worst case, if they make it all the way to 50 Dorito, I'm gonna make sure that guy can't wrap around. So basically, it's a supporting role. You shoot lots of paint. You control the tapes and you shoot lots of paints. And then when a game goes as a 7-man, it's slower. you have to be communicating all the time with your back center guy, the other corner guy, your front players, and so you figure out what's going on. You know what the cheat count is. You know where opponent is. You know, you don't want a guy go in the snake and sneak all the way to your side of the snake, and then you're gonna lose like 3-4 guys, and you're probably gonna lose the game. So communicating for these back players is really important. So like I said, these guys are supporting players, but when the game goes on, usually you end up losing your front players, and then it's time these guys to move up, and it's like, you know, these are the guys who clear up the field. When there is a 3-on-3, it usually matters like who's most aggressive, who are the black players who make the moves and go back in the 50s and fill the holes, you know, when your own front players die. Now if we talk about the mid players usually break out with their guns up. So it's really usual like that you have a front guy running, and then mid player is the next guy coming over, and he edges in the back center, puts the paint on the back center guy, so it makes it a little bit more safer for the front player to go in on those far spots. Front players, they usually just run their heads down, they get in their far spots, and mid player mission of the break is get those kills, you know, in the center. If you can see a hopper hanging out, or you see a guy coming up in the center, they step wide and shoot back in, or you know, sometimes you shoot wide, but it really depends how it goes, what's your game plan. But it's like you always break out your guns up shooting, and your eyes are on the field. The mid players are the players, like let's say your front player dies off the break. Mid player is the player who's gonna fill the front spot. If not, he gets in a spot, like, you know, you go up in a center pike, like secondary move, and you lock one side up. So it's like it's probably the most complicated role to play, because you have to make so many choices where to go, when to go, and which way to look, you know. So like it's all about the secondary move. The first move is short breakout. You break out your gun up, and then you make a choice and you do a secondary move. And the mid player is usually who makes the push happen, you know, like you have your front player going up front, the mid player is the makes the secondary move, and that like makes the game moving on. You know, you get 2 guys up in the front instead of 1 guy, or you get up in the center, you go up in the center spike and you lock the one side down. If let's say your back players shoot a guy going wide of the Dorito side, and you can center spike and you can lock the whole right side up, that's game over right there if your front player is alive. So front players, you basically run your head down. Like here, you get in the car wash. Only thing you want to do is really wrap around and make the next move. You want to be aggressive. You want to get in the spots so you can guarantee get some good kills. So you want to get into these Doritos. Here you start seeing people's backs. You know, you can do a quick check inside. You can see that temple right there. If the guy's playing loose, you're gonna definitely hit that guy. Same thing as center can. Even a back center, if he doesn't realize that you're here, you can shoot right here. But like these are the spots you kind of check out, and then you want to make move again. You know, you want to wrap the guy in. If there's a guy holding you, you want to wrap the guy in and get in the next spot, because when you get in these 50 bunkers, that's when the game really starts going on. When you get in here, you want to play smart, but you want to play aggressive. So like this 50 Dorito, it's really hard to live in any of those bunkers right there if you're on this 50 Dorito. So you don't want to stick your head out right away and get blasted in the face. You want to play smart and, you know, like take your kills and then get back in. If you can get 2 Gs out there, you kill 2 guys, that's perfect. Then you already like almost done your job, you know. And then if there's a guy right in front of you, and you have a chance, you have your back player controlling the tape, and you can go bunker the guy, that's it. You sacrifice 1 body and you get 3 guys off the field. So front players, that's the tool. You want to go aggressive, get those kills, maybe die, but yeah, if you die, you take a few players out with you, you know. So that's when the mid players come back in. You know, the guy who's been following you, supporting you, now he fills the hole and there is no one on this side. You got rid of the guy in front of you, you got clear a few kills, and that's how the game goes on. And let's go to the snake side. Overall in the 7-man, like if you get in one of these good spots, let's get you get a 50 Dorito, you want to make sure you have a second guy, like a mid guy, maybe getting up in that center Dorito right there, or the spike, who can look after you, so you can lock the lanes down. So always do like, always you can go in the spots and cross everything up. So you know you don't get bunkered. You want to go bunker them, you don't want to get bunkered. Snake, like I said earlier, this gap is pretty big, so it's going to be pretty hard to run this off the break, but I bet people are going to make it. And it's definitely worth of trying, because this snake is really strong. You know, it's one long snake and there is no gaps. So basically you can just go all the way down the snake. If there is no one in this tape, if you see like the back corners, they're kind of inside. So even in corners, they can't control the snake. So normally there's lots of times the paintball field, the corners are on the same line with the snake tape. So you can, the back corner can control the snake, so you can't just go forward. On this field, like you can see, the back corners are inside, so there is no one controlling the tape. Let's say if you can make sure that the opponent doesn't get in the snake and you can get in the snake, it's worth of risking off the break. So let's say like you run a snake off the break, even if it's a little risky, and you shoot their guy going there, or their guy, they don't even try, and you can lock the lane down, you can go down the snake all the way. Snake like this, when you're first guy in a snake, and if you have a chance to go down, you're a front guy, you don't want to even take too much those cross shots, because this is always a risk to get shot right here. So if you have a highway to go all the way down, you crawl all the way down. Maybe here in the 50 snake, you want to do a quick peek. You know, if you can hear like they're yelling the snake, they know you're there. You can do a quick peek here, but not even, you don't even have to do that, because when you get here, this is where it gets really rewarding. Here you can, like you can see, no one can, you can kill the back right corner, the Dorito, can, car wash, any of those Doritos, you're behind them. So if you get in here real quick and you can get those kills, and even someone comes bunker you, or whatever happens, it's worth it. Then mid guys come back in the game again, so the next guy fills up and comes here and plays, you know, like plays like slower paintball. But this is definitely a snake like you want to punch in. You want to punch in the snake. You want to run in the snake, play aggressive, put one guy, two guys, three guys in the snake, and keep going all the time forward. And now in a situation like there's two guys in the snake, then it's gonna slow down, because they're gonna be battling on this tape control. So then it's gonna be gunfighting. Excuse me. You can see that the snake is lined up like this, so you're gonna be gunfighting with your snake, other snake player on the other side of the snake. So basically it's a gunfight, and if you can, you want to make a bump up, and then you can feel the second guy in the snake. So second guy can control the tape with you, and you can still control the tape, or you can play across the field here, and the other guy controls the tape, so no one can bunker you or anything like that. So you want to feel lots of guys in this snake, keep pushing this snake. But like a snake like this strong, it's really important to remember that you don't forget the Dorito side, because sometimes people are concentrating on the snake, and there's going to be maybe two guys. Both teams have two guys in the snake. It's going to slow everything down, and you know the two teams are matching, and then suddenly the things can open the Dorito side, and you know you can see people running down the Doritos and winning games from there. So you have to have a balanced game plan always. And like I said, like if you can see those guys on the one side, you always, the center plays strong, so you can always get in that center spike and lock one side down. So that's pretty much the wrap up for this field. You know, it's always paintball is paintball. You gotta play paintball, and everything comes together as a teamwork. So 7-man team, there's now no one individual. It's 7 people playing together, and who has the best game plan, and 7 individuals working together as a team will win games. More information about me and my team, go to teamironmen.com or Mikko358.com, and diepaintball.com, main sponsor, and that's where you can find everything what you need to know. Mikko358.com, lots of info about clinics and my travels around the world, so check it out.